Hi, I'm Nigel. I'm the host for the 251, and here are our 251 panelists for this week.
Hi, my name is Brittany.
Hi, my name is Kaylee.
Hi, my name is Zach.
Hi, my name is Garrett.
Now for this week's show, we're going to talk about stress. And I know it's hard for a lot of teenagers this year, especially your juniors and senior years. And I mean, you're thinking about college, you're thinking about applications, you're thinking about the ACTs. Now we're going to be hearing from our 251 panelists. And Brittany, how about you get the ball rolling? You're going to tell us like one of the things as a teenager that stress you out.
As a teenager, school really stresses me out because of classes like trying to keep up with AP classes and extracurricular activities and things like that. It's hard.
So do you have any, like with your extracurriculars, how do you balance? Like, how do you like study, class, organizations? Like, how do you?
I try to prioritize and just put which one is more important or which one am I more committed and dedicated to. So that's usually how it works out.
So the planner has to be your friend.
Yes, I have I use a planner every single school year and everybody's like, why? It's just why I use it. So yeah, it really helps me organize. So pretty much organization, prioritize and stuff, so.
So what about you guys? Like, how is stress like affecting you guys daily?
I mean, I've had multiple anxiety attacks about college and having to get a job and stuff like that. And relationships also is a huge part about high school because, you know, you're finding people that you really like and you're trying to get with them, and then sometimes it doesn't work out and all it just falls through and everything. So that's a big part of it too.
So do you vent to your friends like, okay, I got
Yes.
5 minutes before class, you're gonna listen to me.
Yeah,
this
very
test
much
that
so.
Miss Simpson did was crazy.
Yeah, like my friend Max, I'll just sit in math class and just tell him everything.
What about you, Zach?
Well, I'm a very busy person, so it's like I got schoolwork to do. I'm a class officer. I do theater at Playhouse in the Park. And
So you're that guy.
Yeah, and I do theater, and I do theater here. So yesterday was really busy. Had a meeting in the morning, got here early, sat through the meeting. I have to sell Powder Puff game tickets. And it's like I get home at night around 9 o'clock every night, don't have time to go from school, and I have to go straight to rehearsals just about. My mom gets home, well, I don't see why you're so tired all the time. Need you to do all these chores. I'm like, well, I gotta do homework, do chores when I get home, and go about my business, make sure my room is all straightened up and everything. But it's just really hectic, and this school year's just kind of flown by since it is my senior year.
So what do you do for energy? I mean, in theater, I know you have to give it your all because you're playing a role. When you're playing someone, you want to be believable. And people think sometimes it's easy, but no, it's not. You have to learn these lines, you have to memorize. On top of that, you have to study for your own classes. I mean, how do you have the energy to do all of this?
I just go home and I go to sleep like right when I get home.
Yeah.
I sleep. And people think that people are like, well, why'd you fall asleep on me? And I just fall asleep around 8, 9 o'clock when I get home.
Like it's nothing serious,
Yeah,
nothing
I'm
against
just
you.
exhausted.
Yeah. It's
So
pretty hectic.
going off what you said about your mom, does it hurt sometimes when you're like, just because I'm a teenager, it doesn't mean I'm even less busier than you?
Yeah, I mean, I can see where she comes from. Like, you're younger, you should have energy, but
That's not always the case.
like she just doesn't understand how busy it is and how stressful like schoolwork can be, senior project, just drama too. That builds a lot of stress on people.
So one thing that I also think is different from their time. I think towards I don't know how old your mom is, like 70s, 80s, like when they were in school-ish, 90s. Yeah. That it was easier. And now it's more stressful for a lot of teenagers because you guys think about everything now. I have to get into this school. On top of that, pressure from your parents. On top of that, am I losing weight? Am I gaining too much weight? On top of that, what do people think about me? Acne, relationships, friendships, girlfriends, boyfriends, all that type of stuff. Like, you guys have a lot to think about. So do you think it's different, that, I mean, it's more stressful because times are different, because more people expect things from you because it's more competitive these days.
Definitely. People expect a lot from teenagers nowadays because of sports and all that kind of stuff, and they expect us, well, like back then, my mom tells me all the time, like, she was a straight A student. And I mean, I'm not a straight A student, and she tells me all the time, like, you should have straight A's. And I'm like, it's a lot harder now than it was back then, as you said. And it's a lot more stressful now than it was, because we have a lot more projects and like books that we have to read and stuff like that. Because I asked my mom, like, have you read the Odyssey? And she was like, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, but you were a straight A student.
Yeah, for real. So, I mean, she said that she had a lot of stress when she was in high school. I mean, she understands a lot of it, but to a degree, I don't think she understands how much stress I do have.
What about you, Caitlin?
Well, I'm a sophomore, so I'm not really like applying for colleges yet, but I do take AP classes, and I'm always really like before walking into class that day, I'm like worried, like, did I forget something, or like, are we gonna have another quiz today? And also I'm a horseback rider, so that's like a full-time thing.
Awesome, oh my God.
So
Okay.
I get there immediately after school, and then I have to take care of the horses. I have 4 horses, so I have to go take care of all of them. And I get back into my house at like 8 o'clock every night. And then I have tons of homework from my AP classes. And so yeah, it's a lot of stress for me.
Okay, so where do you guys find this strength? Because, I mean, after the horses, I probably would have been like, Mom, I'm going to take an off day from school today. I need you to write that note saying I went to the doctor and I had chicken pox or something, because I cannot do that.
Sleep is a huge
Well,
part of it.
When I go to shows, I actually do miss Fridays, and that definitely puts more stress on me, because then I have to catch
make
up
it up.
from that Friday.
And Fridays are huge test and quiz days, right?
So
Wow. Now, what about part-time jobs?
Oh, don't even
I
talk.
had to quit.
Oh.
I had to quit my job. It stressed me out so bad.
Oh yeah, I've had like 3 jobs in the past like 2 years. I worked at Publix, and then I worked at
Whole Foods.
Winn-Dixie,
Okay.
and then I had to stop working because my grades were starting to get really low and stuff like that. Because I wasn't getting a lot of sleep, because I would get home and then I would have to do homework, and I'd be in bed by like 12 o'clock, and I wake up at like 5:40 every morning. So I was only getting like 5 hours of sleep.
But
And I mean
like-
that's yeah.
Yeah, but like even trying to get a job, because I stay in a single parent household, so it's not like I'm obligated to work, but I really want to work because I want the extra money to do all the extracurricular stuff. And so just trying to get a job is stressful, and trying to think of, okay, so how am I going to prioritize going to work, going to school, doing this, doing that, keeping the house clean, making sure your parents are happy with what you're doing. It's just hard. So
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to go off of a statistic from the Huffington Post. More than a quarter, 27% of teenagers say they experience extreme stress during the school year versus 13% in the summer. And 34% expect stress is increasing this coming up year in 2016. And stressors range from school to friends, work, and family. And teens aren't using healthy methods to cope or find the latest stress in American survey that a lot of teens are using like drugs or alcohol or doing things that are illegal or just not good for their bodies. Like, do you guys feel like that is going on these days?
Definitely.
yeah, definitely.
So how do you think people or parents or schools should change it if they see their students are suffering in a way and they see that, okay, maybe we need to back off a little bit, like going off of what you said, coming from a single parent household. I came from a single parent household. It was a lot of pressure, especially if your parent was a successful parent.
Yeah, they want you to do everything just like them. So
Yes. So how do you think the parents in the schools can make changes?
in my opinion, the parents, I feel like they're not really believing that students are having these issues, and so they just kind of tell their children to get over it, kind of. And the student or their children are they're just going to something that makes it better for them, and not really solving the issue. They just want that little bit of freedom from what they're experiencing at that moment. So if the parents would, kind of look into it a little bit. If the student's having a problem, if their parents would kind of be a little bit more helpful about it, then we wouldn't have as many issues with the drugs and alcohol.
Now, what do you guys think about stuff like energy drinks and pills that give you energy for school? Like, do you believe in those, or do you think those are bad for you, or do you?
I think
think those
sleep
are-
is perfect. Just go. Sleeping is so
Yes,
relaxing.
sleep is
Just
just-
go to sleep.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Everything. Just go to sleep.
And like Red Bulls and Monsters and those things are like, those are awful for your
I
heart.
feel like you could, I mean, every once in a while they're okay, but if you're drinking them like every day or like drinking like 3 cans of Monster a day, then you're not going to be a very healthy person.
You're not gonna be-
because
They're like 90% sugar.
Just take a nap.
like I
It's just-
don't want to put something in my body that's really unnatural and gonna do stuff to it that you wouldn't. It's just
So why do you think teenagers go to those unhealthy methods first? Why do you think they look towards those? Then healthy diet, working out probably will give you more energy.
Laziness. I
because
feel like getting like drugs and stuff is a lot easier than going and running and working out and stuff. So that's what
Yeah.
kids usually go to because
So
it's so
it's
much
like
easier.
the fast food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
basically,
I
it's the
also-
fast food of stress relief.
Yeah, but I also think like our generation, I'm not gonna say like everybody's antisocial, but everybody's so caught up on social media and
Yeah.
social networks, so nobody actually values actually talking to somebody about your problems. And plus two, with social networks and technology and stuff, everybody's used to instant gratification. So okay, I can get this and I'm automatically gonna feel better rather than talking to somebody and
There's-
actually getting things better. So
it's taking away from actually interacting with someone face to face and
Yeah.
being able to like. I mean, yeah, it's okay to like talk about your problems on the phone or over a text, but it's better for you to have face-to-face interaction with coping with issues because you can see how the person's actually feeling, whether they're actually having the problem or just making it up for attention or things like, such as that.
Okay, guys, you guys are really getting into this topic. I'm excited, you're excited, I'm loving the feedback, but we're gonna go to a quick break right now, and when we return back, we're gonna pick back up on this topic.
The class of 2015 earned over $97 million in scholarships, and the class of 2016 is already on its way, graduating students who are college and career ready. It starts with us.
Welcome back to the 251. Now, I've been talking to my 251 panelists about stressors and being teenagers and being stressed out. And now we're gonna hear a story from a girl named Rachel, who's in high school, who's dealing with a lot on her plate. And she's gonna tell you about the things that she goes through as a teenager dealing with stress. So after hearing Rachel's story, do you guys feel like you can relate to what she's going through?
Definitely, yeah. Because I mean, the whole thing with her relationship and having to do band and all that kind of stuff after school is just, I get the stress and like all having to do stuff and worry about all that kind of stuff. So I definitely get it.
And I know you were able to relate when she was talking about theater and learning her lines and being tired. And when she said that they didn't feel like she was giving enough energy and she felt like she had to drop. How would you have felt if somebody told you like, are you sure you can do this? And that's your passion.
Well, the thing about energy is when it comes to shows, it mainly depends on what character you're depicting and how big your part is and kind of your how you are on like your presence on stage. And if you don't have really a good stage presence, the director's gonna tell you and definitely make you start over from the scene and make you redo it and go over your lines again. But there are days where I've gone in and not feel like really good, but you have to act. You're an actor. You have to act. You know, you have to go up there and do your part. And sometimes they're gonna tell you that you need more energy, and you might feel like it's bringing you down. But you have to look, for the way I look at it, if you get cast as a character in a production, the director sees you as that character and they know that you can do it. So they're gonna give you as much constructive criticism as they can so you can depict that character to the fullest of your acting capabilities.
Gotcha. So you have to give that energy. You have to be that character, and it's up to the professor or the teacher to pull it out of them. Okay. Now, ladies, you can say yes or no, or you can tell me you can't, but when she was talking about the relationship, like she felt like she had to let her relationships go too, and she felt like that would be less on her plate. Like, do you think that's something you would have done, or do you think you can relate to that, or have you ever had to cut a person off and be like, I need to focus on me and what I'm going through right now?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, I'm the perfect person for that. Like, if something's really, really stressing me out, I mean, you can still talk to that person, but sometimes you have to focus on yourself overall, because it is high school. Like, not to say that you're not gonna marry your high school sweetheart, but it's high school, and honestly, you gotta focus on yourself sometimes and do the best for you. So, yeah.
What about you, Caitlin?
I honestly can't relate to that. I am so dependent on other people. Like, I just can't relate. Like, if I'm having a hard time, I'm gonna like cling to somebody.
Gotcha. And sometimes people need that extra shoulder to be there for them. And I mean, I know if it wasn't for my friends, I don't even think I would have got through college sometimes with some of the stressful situations that I was going through. But what would you guys have done differently than her? Like, you read her story, you saw her problems. What would you have done differently?
I would have honestly just, because I honestly feel like it's all about your perspective on life. Like, you have to have a certain mindset, because it's always going to be problems 24/7. And if you think everything's over, it's not. It's always something coming back. So I think she should have just kept that in mind, that things are maybe bad and things are bad, but it's always going to get better. So if she just would have stayed positive and realized, like, okay, yeah, maybe what everybody else is saying is right. Like, maybe I'm not giving that presence and that energy, but it's gonna get better, instead of just always jumping to drastic conclusions like, oh, I'm just so terrible. You're not. It happens. So.
Okay, so what did you guys think about her cry to her help to her parents? Because I remember when she was talking to them and they told her to suck it up. And I remember we talked about that before. So to see that again, do you guys feel like that your parents are the only ones who are doing it now after seeing that?
No, I mean, I already knew that my mom wasn't the only one that said to suck it up, because, I mean, I have headaches sometimes, and she'll be like, just push through it, okay? And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just stay at school. I mean, sometimes it gets better, sometimes it doesn't, but no, I think that all parents are like that, because they want to push their kids to the fullest.
That tough love.
Yeah, tough love, basically, and push them to their fullest potential, like to do what they need to do and get it done, so they can have a better life and have less stress later on in life. So.
Yeah, because when my dad always told me, when you get a job, they're not gonna care. Like, you have a headache, okay, you still gotta come to work. Like, they're not gonna care. So you might as well get used to nobody not caring.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, what about her reaching out to counselors and help? What do you guys think about counselors or therapists who are there to help you?
In my opinion, some counselors and therapists can help you. It depends on your personal beliefs and everything. Some of them, I know that they try to help you and it's their job to help you. And there are some, that everything has a good and bad. Like, they're gonna be the ones that really don't care, that just trying to make their money, sitting there for their appointment. But some people are going to feel comfortable talking to a counselor, but there are going to be people that would rather talk to somebody they know than go to a counselor. And that works for some people, because I'd rather just sit down and talk with a friend about the problems that I'm having than go sit in an office where I feel awkward and uncomfortable talking to someone I don't know on a personal basis. And they're having to like write down notes and stuff and tell my parents, because you're not going to want to tell your parents everything, which isn't like unnatural to do, but it's just some people don't tell their parents everything because they don't want their parents to worry too much about them or think that they may need more like serious help when in reality they don't.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to come back to our great discussion, but now, earlier before the show, I was able to go into the hallways and ask some of the students about some of the things that may stress them out and ways that they can have a resolution into beating that stressor. Now I'm going to take it back to the hallways. All right, I'm hitting the hallways to ask kids about stressors that they might be going through as teenagers, and I have Tay here. What's up, Tay?
Hi.
We have Tay here. Now, Tay, tell me one of the things that stress you out as a teenager.
Homework, especially English, because I don't know what we're talking about. Spanish too. Work, everything. Sometimes the school lunches, they ain't that good. What else stresses me out? Not much, you know.
So, would you say you have a full plate?
Oh no, I sleep when I get home. I don't do no homework.
Okay, Tay. Now, how would you? What? Now you say sleep. Now, what are the things that you do to de-stress yourself if you would have a bad day? What is a Tay chill day?
Eat, sleep, Netflix and chill. Play soccer. Not much.
So eat, sleep, and be merry. All right, Tay, that's what's up. All right. Now I'm here with Brock. Brock, what stresses Brock out? I want to know.
Well, to be honest, English stresses me out the most.
Brock, you speak English.
I do, but see, 12th grade English, right? You got to write a lot of papers, and it's just really hard. And we have a senior project that's due, and it's crazy. It's like 4 pages long.
Brock, you know you're going to be writing more than that in college.
I am, indeed.
In English.
Indeed, yes. But hopefully I'll get better then. And if not, I'll apologize to my English teacher a lot and pay him money.
So, Brock, how do you distress? Like, how do you step away from English and distress so you can come back with a fresher mind?
Usually I just go home and sleep. I eat a lot. And if I don't eat or sleep, I just kind of stare.
So where does the food go? The legs?
Probably the feet, you know. Size 13. It's pretty chill. You know, I grow a lot, but it's good. Just chill.
Thank you, Brock. All right, guys, we just had Brock here. Now I'm going to toss right back to the 251 panel. Welcome back to the 251. Now I'm here with the 251 panelists, and we talked about stressors and what things make you stressed out and living through them, and also heard a story about Rachel who went through the same thing. Now we're going to talk about ways you can de-stress yourself. Now I looked on the Huffington Post, and they gave me 22 ways to de-stress yourself, and guys, tell me if you do any of these things. Try to relax.
Okay.
I had to laugh at it myself. Light yoga, meditate,
I've done yoga before. It hurts.
breathe deeply, spark incense, listen to music, laugh out loud, drink tea, watch funny videos, exercise, take guided visualization, join a religious group, chew gum, get a massage, take a nap. I know that's what you were talking about earlier. Hug it out, hang with a pet, hang with friends, do an art project, write, walk it out, kiss someone, and don't write a list of 22 ways to distress yourself. So do any of you guys do any of those things on the list?
I listen to music when I get
I
stressed
thought you were
out.
like, I kissed someone.
Definitely. Yeah, I listen to music a lot, and that helps me kind of de-stress myself a little bit.
Does the type of music matter? Because sometimes, some music make me upset. And then some music calms.
It kind of, I have like a wide range of music. Like some of them makes me feel like I want to start a war, and then other types of music makes me like,
Chill.
yeah.
I take a lot of naps.
Naps are
Yay.
life.
Dude, they are. Like I get home like from 3 o'clock. I'll nap from like 3 to like 8. Easy.
You need to switch places.
Sometimes I just throw on some music and write too.
But the whole art project thing, like, why would you stress your out? I mean, like, I guess if an art project is
Some
easy.
people vent
If you're
through
in
art.
art.
Like one of the things I saw was a commercial, and it was like the people who put paint in the balloons, and it's the art
yeah, those
project,
are
and they
cool.
throw it at the wall,
Yeah.
and it's the art project.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And it
Yeah, that'd be
relieves
My
stress.
sister tried that. It just
It's abstract.
it gets your stress away until you have your favorite shirt on and you throw it at the balloon. And
No,
the
that's
paint
her
plays-
fault. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Or just a nice shirt. Yeah, the paint got all over it. It was fun for a minute, but no.
But no.
I like swimming. I think swimming's a really good stress reliever because I used to be on a swim team and I would swim for hours.
Okay. Now, what about you guys with your me time? Because I'm one of those, I need 2 hours or an hour, and I can actually just sit in the room with nothing to do and just lay there for a couple of hours or take a nap, but it's like my me time. Like, I'll cut off the phone or put it on vibrate or something, but it has to be that me time. Do you think that really would distress you to have like that separation from the world?
Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, if you just have that time to yourself, which I do a lot too, I just kind of lay there and do nothing and stare at the ceiling. But that's really relaxing, not having to have other people try to, even if it's your friends, like sometimes you just want to have that time to yourself, just quiet. It's really relaxing.
And if it's important, I get a text, I'll be like, yes, no.
Yeah.
Like, you are not even getting a sentence, yes,
Yeah.
no. What about you guys?
I play video games. I just
Okay.
I play video
Got
games.
excited with you. I was like, yeah, me too. And hours will pass by and you'll feel so
Yeah,
much
dude,
better.
like I just got Fallout 4 and I've just been playing that like constantly when I get home. That's all I do.
Okay, we're about to wrap up this segment, but I want to know from each of you one thing that you learned through this segment about stress or de-stressing or any of those type of things.
I learned that everybody gets stressed out. Everybody. And there's always ways that you can fix it. So, yeah.
Mainly that it's not only me out there that's feeling stressed out, and there are people that have stories worse than how I'm feeling. So like I don't need to think that I'm the most important thing that's going on. And like there are people that are feeling worse than I am.
Oh, life goes on. You gotta be positive towards it.
You're so mellow, like, yeah.
Yeah, he kind of stole mine. I was gonna be like, just think positive because something's always gonna come your way that's just gonna make it better. I mean, that's what I believe.
That's true. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. I really had a good time. You guys are very informative. You guys are very bright, and we have to have you guys back on the show. All right, thank you. Thank you for joining us for 251. I'm your host, Nigel Ashford. See you again soon.